Whoa.
Whoa.
Hey. So since we last left, I took a little bit of a deeper dive into Wicked Witch of the East, bro. Which I shouldn't have done because it's on Tosh. And I thought Tosh was going to talk to the guy and like really get into the argument, but he chose to instead make a bit out of it where he basically just talked like him back to him and argued with him.
Typical Tosh.
But it's still hilarious. His name is Matt, by the way.
I was thinking he was like a Chad.
He's a Matt. So back to list of amazing topics. Where should we go next?
Should probably pull up this list. Oh God. You want to talk about the Olympics?
The real Olympics?
The SEA Games Olympics?
Yeah, let's talk about the SEA Games.
Okay.
So the SEA Games were an Olympic qualifying event. SEA stands for Southeast Asia.
Correct.
And we were told that World OCR, aka FISO, I don't know how many names it has, was going to have events in it. And they had a 100-meter ninja course, was it?
Correct.
And I guess it was pretty exciting to watch. Only 4 teams participated, so good chance to get a medal. Like there were 56 teams, like say in the whole games, right? 56 different countries or teams from all across Asia. 4 of them
Right.
4 of them participated in the OCR, and those people are now your SEA Games qualifiers for the 2020 Sochi event.
You're Olympic athletes, if you will.
Am I missing anything?
No, you pretty much nailed it.
So what does this mean for obstacle racing, Josh? Anything?
Well, I guess that depends on who you ask, because I'm guessing the folks at World OCR and all of their different country federations, I think they said they're up to like 80 federations, which is essentially 80 countries that are federated, which is a verb that you'll never use in your life. I probably won't, or maybe I will. So to them, it's a big deal, right? To them, this is obstacle sports. And again, we can't really call it obstacle course racing because it's not really that, because they also did have a 400-meter and a 15K, 5K, one of the two. I don't have it in front of me. So they did have some other events. The ninja course, which is the 100-meter course, obviously is their most exciting. They're going on about all these world records being set. Well, this is the first time they did it. So
right.
I could have crawled on my belly across the finish line, and that would have been a world record at the time.
At least been good enough for 5th.
I at least would have been a top 5 Olympic qualifier.
Can we pause to discuss this account?
The World OCR Instagram?
Yes.
Sure.
How would you describe it?
Amateur at best.
Okay. What can they do to improve, Josh?
Listen, when you want to create a brand on Instagram, I get that you have to have branding, right? Or some look and feel. There's a marketing cliche term here that I'm drawing a blank on. So you've got to have something, right? You've got to have a look to an extent, right? Apple, clean, black and white. Uber, everybody's got a look. Theirs is, it's not amazing. I don't want to criticize them based on the look and feel of their brand, but the way they're like showing some of these events is just not in a way that's very exciting. So here's a for instance. The fastest times in these 100-meter events, like the fastest time was 30 seconds, right? That Instagram holds a 60-second video, at this point, why don't you just put the whole damn run for all 4 of the teams right on your Instagram feed, and I can watch it as an athlete? The first thing that I reached out to them when they were like, the events start on Tuesday, because I couldn't watch them because they're like a 14-hour time difference. I was like, going to be live streamed anywhere. They said, nope, due to technical difficulties, our live stream partner on site won't be able to help. So no live streaming. But you know what? I don't care. They're 30, 40, 50-second runs. Throw the whole damn thing up on Instagram and I'll watch it. That does not take any amount of my day. So they didn't really get that. There was a lot of like patting ourselves on the back for this event. Like they had Ian Adamson kick off the whole thing. Like, I declare these games open, So this is going to move forward no matter what. Nobody can stop this World OCR from continuing to parade towards the Olympics, right? And there's been a lot of articles out in the last week about how obstacle sports are moving towards the Olympic Games. We also saw Dave Watson broadcasting from the SEA Games, which
this was the most surprising to me.
Right, which Spartan and World OCR have definitely segmented from each other. Like originally they were hand in hand. Joe was all in on leading the charge, and then they realized, hey, shit, a brand can't be in the Olympics, so maybe that's not a thing, but maybe we have some influence. Maybe we put some money behind it. I don't think we know all the financials or anything. Ian has told us he's bankrupted himself doing this. He stands to obviously make a shit ton of money if this whole thing takes off. And they can tell you all day long it's not for profit. But guess what? People in the Olympics always profit. And there's always, sadly, corruption and scandal and all kinds of things. And I'm not saying this is there, but there's developments that are going to happen. And this is going to continue to get more and more exposure, most likely, all leading up to their first announced event, which is Sochi 2020. Sochi, if you're not aware, is in Russia. And if you've been living with your head under the rock for the last 48 hours, Russia just got banned from all Olympic events for the next 4 years. They can't host any Olympic qualifying events. They can't host any major events. Quote unquote, major events is how it's deemed. So I reached out to World OCR on Instagram and I said, hey, any chance you want to make a comment on this? And this is their comment that they sent to me. Hi, Josh. The local organizing committee for the 2020 OCR World Championships, and yes, that's what they're calling themselves, assures the OCR community that the 2020 World Championships will be held, as previously announced, from the 17th to the 20th of September in Sochi, Russia. The Sochi LOC, I'm assuming Olympic Committee, has been informed that World OCR will continue to monitor the situation with respect to the WADA decision. WADA was the one who handed down the ban for 4 years on Olympic events in Russia. By the way, Olympic athletes can't even compete or Russian athletes can't even compete in the Olympics. They'll have to compete under independent flags. The appeal process and any sanctions which may affect the global sport. World OCR and Sochi OCR 2020 are committed to clean, they put that in quotes, sport, and will take all necessary steps to ensure compliance. We uphold the WADA code and support all innocent athletes and organizations. So they're still moving forward with an event in Russia.
Well, do we want to say they probably knew this was coming? Like, this can't be a shock. When they announced Sochi the first time, everyone was like, oh, so you mean the place that's like the dirtiest place there is?
Right. Like if you've seen Icarus, you realize this wasn't just like an athlete getting caught for doping.
Right.
This was a government-sponsored like scandal. They were infiltrating computer systems and editing links in order for people to check these results to be misdirected to incorrect pages with fabricated results on them. It's a legitimate scandal.
I didn't know about that part. I just knew about a state-sponsored doping program. And those of us that are old enough to remember, this was sort of always the deal that the East Germans were sending these women to the weightlifting competitions that looked like, fucking
She-Hulk.
Right. So that was like, oh, yeah, over there they cheat like crazy, blah, blah, blah. Then that sort of went away, like somewhat over the last few years or whatever, the last couple decades. So then this movie Icarus, which I feel like everyone's seen. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Great documentary.
It's on Netflix.
even if you care nothing about sport, it's fascinating, fun characters, et cetera, et cetera. I knew that the state, like including Mr. Putin directly, like was like, let's give our athletes good drugs and then let's fool the tests this way. You're talking about results, like race results?
Yeah, and I'm going to have to pull up the article. Not race results, test results.
Oh, test results.
Yeah, like they were fabricating test results and even altering computer systems in order to help hide this. And 7 hours ago, Mr. Putin signals that Russia will appeal their 4-year ban from WADA. So this story isn't over by any means. And next September, between the 17th and 20th, we're going to see an event in Sochi, Russia. What that event is and who will be there in terms of athletes, we don't know. You interviewed Robert Killian, and he said he doesn't even know if he can get a visa there as a military, an active military or military veteran. He's probably not going to be able to go. Aaron Newell's been incredibly vocal. Like, why are you hosting this in Russia? So more to come.
Well, here's the thing. You and I openly were like, oh, fuck, let's fucking go. And
I'll still go. I mean, I'll still go.
So if it's only those events, super short course, 400 meter, 100 meter, not true OCR events, closer to Ninja than OCR, you'll still go? Because to me, it's a long way to go to watch some pretty short races.
I mean, I feel like it's sort of our duty. Like we have to sort of understand what's happening and
our
see
patriotic duty or our obstacle discourse duty?
Our fiduciary duty. I mean, it's part of the sport, and sadly, we still haven't mastered the ability to broadcast these events to people who are interested. So
well, you're gonna think this is a joke, Josh. But let's follow this all the way through. You and I go, you know what? Maybe they give us some help getting over there to cover media. Maybe they don't. But since we're there, if there isn't a huge presence, wouldn't it make sense for one or both of us to compete in the games? I mean, we could be the 5th best in the world, or maybe like the 3rd best, if you know what I mean?
No, because so I think these events are going to be a lot larger. Our friend Leon over in Europe.
Leon!
Sergey Pellerin in Russia, like they have very active federations and very active government participation in getting athletes to these games. So I think this event, like the Southeast Asian Games, obviously is very, very minute area geographically and a very, very small group of people. I foresee this being pretty large in terms of getting athletes there. But, we've talked about the U.S. getting athletes there, and that's a big problem. So if you don't have, and can our athletes run a 29-second ninja course like these guys did in Southeast Asia? I don't know. But if they don't get a chance to go, nobody will ever know. So it doesn't – is it truly a worldwide competition when you host it in an area that not everybody can get to?
Well, if you and I both go, I think – you should compete. If one of us is going to compete, it should be you. You're better at obstacles. So I feel like it'll just be in the history books, right?
Well, in order for me to compete, I need the approval of USA OCR. I need them to dub me.
So when you're there, when we're there, and it's like we raise our hands, hey guys, we're the only ones here. I think you can get what's his name?
Who?
The guy in charge of USA OCR.
Jamie?
You can get Jamie and OCR buddy to give you the nod, give you the approval. Like, hey, we're here. There's no other Americans here.
Right. Be like, I'm going. So you might as well give me the thumbs up.
Although, we should ask, we should reach out to like Jamie Ron or like people that we know. What's his name? I'm so bad at this game.
That's true.
Ninjas that we know. Just, I know a few ninjas. We should reach out and be like, what do you guys think? Like, do you want to go? Because like we are like, you have to talk to Jamie to qualify. They might not even know.
So, and here's the other thing is the Ninja Federation is also a thing. Like there is a U.S. National Ninja Association, which is also moving towards an Olympic position one way or another, separate from
I think they have multiple governing bodies trying to be the thing.
They definitely do. So
they have similar issues with for-profit versus whatever. And all right, well, more to come on that one for sure.
More to come, but your Olympic competitor, Josh Chace, could be on the docket 2020. Just on principle, I wouldn't even do that.
All right. You put VJ here. Is this something we really want to talk about?
I just really want to say there were two things that I noticed over the weekend. One, Salming Shoes, not Solomon, Salming, different shoe company, official shoe of Savage Race.
At least for 2019.
At least for 2019 they were.
Maybe 2020.
Has signed VJ Jones as their sponsored athlete. I just thought VJ,
right. I think they tried to make it happen, but they didn't. I just think they couldn't figure it out. Like he didn't like him as much or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's if you don't like the shoes, then you're not going to put your stamp on them. And speaking of people who don't like the shoes, Ryan Kent goes on his Instagram story. Ryan Kent, Spartan, just, for the face of Spartan in most of their clothing and all kinds of other things. They send him like a care package. He's like, oh, I got this care package from Spartan. Let me go ahead and open it up. And he pulls out a nice pair of Craft RD Pro shoes. He's like, those are pretty sweet shoes. They're nice and purple. I love that purple. Not going to race in them. And just puts them down. Like, okay, that's an interesting thing to put out there. And then he's like, oh, sweet, Lake Tahoe World Championship hoodie. That was a month ago, but I guess I'll take this. I probably won't wear it because it's too small. He's like, he goes back to the shoes. He's like, man, that purple's pretty dope. Definitely not going to race in them though. I just thought that was pretty funny.
All right, you want to go to the MRG Awards?
I would love to go to the MRG Awards.
We did a brief thing on this on our nominations, but we half joking. So here we are. It's December 10th as we record. You can vote up until December 15th. And I'm going to start with the first event, and it's going to set a precedent for what I'd like to call too many fucking nominees. Now, if the purpose of this whole thing is to get as many shares as possible, right, and to get as many people looking at MRG as possible, it succeeds in that because, of course, every single thing that gets nominated gets passed around to everybody in the world, right?
Right.
There's already too many race categories, which we'll get to. But there's just let's just dive into it. Moment of the year. Number one, completing my own Spartan trifecta. I think that's a good one. I had not seen that before. Like usually it's something like the rest of these, Rhea winning Spartan Ultra World, Robert Killian winning, Ryan Atkins overall season, right? Like what do you call a moment, right? So there's a lot of these. James Stengel completing all 2019 Savage Races. Raise your hands if you knew that was a thing. Neither Josh and I, for the audience, are raising their hands.
Also, it's not a moment. It's moments.
Right, but did that get voted on by more than James and his friends? No offense, James. Great accomplishment, but come on.
Come on, man. There has to be at least a minimum amount of votes before, Brett and team consider it part of it, right?
Right. Well, half-assed research. Keith said he asked him 1 year, and he said at least 4. I think 4 is not enough. I think you've got to have minimum. I'm going to go with 25.
Yeah, I'd say at minimum 10, but 20 is more.
And if you don't get that, then you still cap it at 6 different things, right? Like you got a 25, a 24, a 20, and a 19. That's what we go with, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're going to vote, if you're going to pick moment parentheses of the year, what would you pick? Would you pick any of these?
Yeah, I picked Karen Carlson winning the OCRWC. And U.S. people are probably going to hate it, but I feel like it is a big move in terms of who the best in the world are. And I think Karen showed that the athletes in Europe have a leg up when it comes to the more gritty, hanging, tough obstacles that are out there. So that's me. Nicole Miracle for Spartan World Championship was a close second for me. The rest of them, Killian winning, Colby winning, those are okay, but they're not groundbreaking moments.
Okay. Well, real quick, also they call these the muddies, which I'm not in favor of.
You say that every year.
Do I?
You do, yeah. We said it last year.
How many times have you done this show?
Well, right last year, it was like right when our show kicked off, right when this was happening.
Did it? I'm going to look at last year's just for shits and giggles. The moment of the year was the winner was the OCR World Champs, and the runner-up was John Albin's 2018 season. That was last year's winner.
Neither of which are moments.
But could you see them winning?
Yeah.
But I don't think there was near this many fucking applicants.
No, there definitely wasn't. The next one is way too much. The best event of 2019. Let me just give it a rundown. Stay with me.
Hang on. Well, read the little subtitle first.
Okay. Which single race did you feel was the best of 2019? So I get you're going to get a ton of entries on this, right? You'll get individual Spartan races, Tahoe, Killington, Palmerton. Like you'll get all those cheeky ones. You'll get local races because local races have a following too. But then you gotta crush it down. You shouldn't have to choose between Abominable Snow Race, Barbarian Challenge, Bone Frog New England, Cirrus LUV, I don't know what that is, Dead End Race Summer Weekend, Fit Challenge 12, Indian Mud Run, NORAM, Nuclear Rush, OCR European Championships, OCR World Championships, the Platinum Rig 24-hour event, Savage Race Maryland Spring, Spartan Race Killington, Spartan Race Tahoe World Championships, World's Toughest Mudder, X-Warrior Challenge. Like, that's too much.
Okay, I thought Cirrus was going to be a European race I had not heard of. Cirrus is an event that took place in Colorado. It's a world champ qualifier, so Adrian approved. And as far as I can tell, was September 21st, 2019. So I'm sure it got some votes by the race directors of Cirrus and some Colorado local people. But come on, man.
It also had Coach Payne as their MC, I see.
So, come on, man. Like, really? Like, again, this goes back to let's have a minimum.
Yeah, right? And the next one is the one that I think, like, makes sense because you can crush it down into a much smaller group, and that's best championship race for 2019. So several countries held race series and championships. Which did you feel was the best? NORAM, OCR Euros, OCR Worlds, Spartan Sweden, Spartan Tahoe, World's Toughest Mudder, right?
Which did you vote for?
OCR Worlds.
Because you are a honk, so I figured you'd vote that one. I think I went World's Toughest. No, I think I went Tahoe. I can't remember. Because I was at both of those, and I thought I'd vote. Best event, I think I vote World's Toughest as well. Maybe so. That's how I did it. I split the vote. I put World's Toughest on best event, and I went Tahoe for championship, I think. Now, best small race series, there's where you can put your Abominable and right. your Sir of Love, right?
Yep.
So
and it's in there.
So I voted. Who did I vote for this one? I can't even remember. Who did you? Well, you must have voted Fit. I think I voted Fit. No, you hate Rob. I voted Fit. Who did you vote?
I have to look at this again. I don't know what I voted, to be honest. I might have voted Indian Mud Run. Not that I've ever been there, but
you just thought you'd give him some love.
Yeah, why not? Only because maybe I didn't feel like any of these others. I don't know that I competed in any of these others either. So
you weren't at the Barbarian race in Poland?
I was not at the Poland Barbarian race.
Okay.
So.
Mid-size.
Mid-size. These are the Bone Frogs, the Conquer the Gauntlets, the Savage races.
6 to 15. I went Savage. To me, that's a no-brainer.
I went Savage. That's a no-brainer.
Okay, large. Here's where it gets fun. Best large race series. Why don't you read the four races that qualified for this one? Somehow this one only gets 4. Go ahead and name them.
There's a reason it only gets 4. So the 4 are Muddy Princess. How many events did they run? We'll get back to that. Rugged Maniac, Run-mageddon, never heard of it, and Terrain Race. So the next category is the best global race series. So Tough Mudder, Spartan Race, Adventure, obviously. So those immediately come out of the large race series category because they're in the global race series category. So those 4 kind of benefit from the other guys being global.
Right, but small race fits into best event.
True.
Like, that didn't stop them.
So, needless to say, I voted for Rugged Maniac.
Well, Rugged's the easy winner here. There's a world in which Terrain wins because people have heard of it. You know what I mean? They might go, oh, yeah, Terrain I did a couple years ago. So it'll be hilarious if they do. So then best global, Adventure, Spartan, Mudder, and Toughest. But again, I feel like you're going to compare a series with 2 events to a series with 300 events, right? Spartan versus Adventure. Is that really fair?
Right. It's tough to pit them against each other.
I think it should be number of events, not number of countries.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Who's the most innovative, Josh?
The most innovative, I don't know. I think I went Savage on this one.
I think I went Savage as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to go OCR Worlds because of obviously new obstacles, but then I was like, well, if I'm going to go OCR Worlds, how can I not give it to nuclear races? Because it's a lot of their obstacles, and I just didn't. I think I went Savage.
So now we go to Best North American Series, which again has the same things as the other ones, which doesn't make it just points out that you could have certainly put Spartan and Mudder in large. They clearly want to give someone an award there that's not getting an award. It's fine.
Right. They just don't want it to be Spartan. Like it was the first year or the second year, whatever. Get it.
Best North American Series.
Savage.
European Series.
I think I put Toughest because it's what I know. Yeah.
Best International.
What did I even put here? I think I did Bermuda Triple Challenge.
I put Bermuda because I've done it.
There you go.
I've done Hannibal too, and it's decent, but I think I put Bermuda Challenge, where I interviewed one Molly once upon a time.
It's true.
Molly Dodge. What's Molly's last name?
Bond.
Best OCR Series for a beginner.
I think I went Rugged in this one.
I also went Rugged. Here we go. Here's the good ones. Best female OCR athlete. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 nominees. There should be 4 or 5. Who did you vote?
Nicole Miracle.
I shouldn't say who I voted for.
Okay, you don't have to say. I just think Nicole had I don't want to say breakout year because she's always been a really great athlete. But I think I went back and listened to our beginning of the year predictions, and everyone's like Lindsay. So I think Nicole stepped up.
I'm going to say that Lindsay and Nicole are definitely the 2 to vote for, and I don't think I can remember. Maybe I flipped a coin. Best female masters. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 10 names.
Yeah, and for me, local favorite, Marie O'Keefe, love her to death, but it's hard to vote against Faye Morgan, Heather Golnick.
I went Faye Morgan. Newsflash, Deanna Blegg hasn't raced since 2017, for everybody's, but that's again how this thing goes sometimes.
That's fine. Hobie Call hasn't voted or raced, so
what's
he
that?
Still gets votes. Hobie Call hasn't raced, but he still gets votes.
Well, we'll get to that. And I love Deanna, but she doesn't even do OCR anymore. They don't even go here. Best male OCR, 10 names.
VJ Jones.
Who did you really vote for?
I think I went Woodsy on this one.
I think my love for Woodsy is unmatched. I still might have voted Atkins. I honestly can't remember. I might have flipped a coin again. Best male.
What kind of Woodsy honk are you?
Hobie didn't make it this year.
Hobie did not make it this year.
They finally didn't make it. I can't believe it. Like every year he'd do it, even if he only did one race. That gave me the Woodsy vote. There we go.
Yeah.
It let me vote for both Ryjos. They are both Ryan Joseph, by the way. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
They're both Ryjos. Who do you think will win this? Woods has to win this, right?
I don't know. Cole DeRosa, I think a lot of people might just recognize as like an age group athlete, so they may correlate that with the 2. But name recognition might get Woodsy. Yancey could take away a good chunk of votes too. So
even though Yancey doesn't, we love Yancey, but he doesn't podium even.
I mean, he podiums when he races.
Does he beat? He doesn't beat Cole.
Nobody podiums.
Okay, all right. Most inspirational person or group. Now, I have a big problem with this. It should be a person, right? Like Operation Enduring Warrior, how many people are in that? They're going to compete against Spartan Phil or Amelia?
Right.
I think I voted Blind Pete last year. So I can't remember. If they won last year, I guess I didn't vote for them this year. OCRWC does this thing where you can't get even nominated 2 years in a row.
I like that. Let me ask you an unwoke question.
Oh, boy.
If they don't put Blind Pete Does he even get any votes?
But that's his name though. Everybody knows him as Blind Pete. It's not like, hey, who's that guy? Peter Kossaboon. Hey, there's Blind Pete.
Okay.
Which he calls himself. If you win, you should be removed. But if you nominate but don't win, I think you should be the next year. But like OCRWC, I got to wait a year to vote for Blind Pete because they still haven't won.
Right.
Most influential person. I think this one's a bit category. A bit. Are any of these people the most influential to you?
Not really. I mean, I don't. How you define influence, I think, like, is how I schedule my races, how I change my behavior in terms of how I race. I don't really know. I'm pretty sure I picked Adrian here.
Well, I think Adrian was the vote a couple years ago, right? Because he did so much for the sport just by getting us OCRWC. I don't know that I vote for him every year. I mean, it looks, again, I think people confuse inspirational and influential, right? Lindsay, is Lindsay influential or is she inspirational or is she both? Is Sam Abbott influential? I love Savage, but are you the most influential?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a weird one.
It's a weird one.
Maybe we should move this one altogether. Can we skip best region or club because everybody votes for their local one? So we'll skip that one. Nuclear Phoenix / Wild Forest. Wow. Again, too many nominations. Best OCR training tools or device. I have voted RecBag every year for this thing. What do you vote for?
Same thing. I can't think of a more rounded, useful piece of training equipment than the RecBag.
I thought they used to have best new OCR training tool because that would make sense, right?
Yeah. Best new or best recent, whatever it was. Yeah.
Best nutrition brand / product, and this includes the sponsor of the poll, Venga CBD, which if it wins will be slightly suspect, so they should have removed it altogether, but okay. Who did you vote for?
Would you say nutrition brand?
Yes.
Tailwind.
I don't even know what Legion Supplements is. Have you heard of Legion Supplements or Spring Energy?
Oh, I've definitely heard of Spring Energy. I use that stuff.
Velafort. Who's Velafort?
Velaforte. There's an E on the end. Velaforte is coffee drinks, I think.
Maple, coffee, and guarana?
Yep.
Dude, if I don't fucking know it, come on. I'm pretty in the know. And come on.
If you've been at a Spartan race this year, you'd know.
Okay. Well, why isn't Rogue Chips in there?
That's because no, I'm not going to say it.
Okay, best brand of shoes. This is the one that should get as many categories as possible because shoes are a tough one. Right. So I went for VJ. I am a VJ honk, and not just because they have been a sponsor of the show, but I'm absolutely VJ honk. Who'd you go with?
I'm pretty sure I went with VJ because they're OCR specific. If you asked me best shoe, I would have went Hoka.
Best brand of OCR clothing.
I have to assume I went Mud Gear here.
I went Mud Gear. And can you even compare, let's say, a Legend Born who makes jerseys to a company that makes everything like Reebok or Second Skin?
Please don't bring up Legend Born or Akuma. I just don't want to.
Best OCR writer. Yours truly. Yours plural truly are both in this category. I mean, I voted for me.
I voted for me, so we cancel each other out. So
okay,
we'll leave it to the rest of the crowd.
If I was going to give a runner-up besides you, I guess I'd give it to Jack, I guess.
Admittedly, I almost don't know any of the other people, and I'm sorry. Like, I know Ray, but I don't know that Ray has written much. I know Evan Preparis, obviously. I'm not a fan of his, so I'm not going to vote for him. I don't know these other names. So. Okay,
best OCR photographer. For you and I, it's a no-brainer as Jack Goris. The rest of them, some people know, some people don't know. It's basically like who are your friends, right?
Yeah, and obviously, Rusty Adams, longtime Spartan photographer, retired this year, so I hope he gets a lot of votes, but I'm pretty sure Jack's going to win this.
All right, best OCR videographer. Clearly, I'm going to go for my guy, Jeff. I don't think he'll get a lot of votes because he's not visible in the scene and he makes much less than he used to. Sorry, I couldn't vote for you, Josh. I had to go for Jeff because I voted
That's okay.
for you. But I mean, he's been my loyal mate for many, many years. You could win this though. Technically, you might win this.
I could win it on name recognition, maybe. Like Arnell at OCR Tube. Like I think a lot of people know his work, but maybe not necessarily him. He was also at the SEA games filming. Jacob from BroCR, a ton of people know him. Ray, a ton of people know him.
Jacob could win this just based on people knowing him and maybe.
Yeah.
Best OCR race director. Now, I went Garfield all the way. I'm a Garfield honk. I love Garfield. I have for a long time.
I can't give it to a Spartan race director. I
didn't think you would. Who did you give it to?
Brett.
You did not.
I did.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say once again, this is one of those, like, you probably should recuse yourself, right? Like, having Margaret as best writer wasn't that bad because, yes, it's a Mud Run Guide thing, but that is kind of separate. Brett is the owner of the company. I don't think he should just recuse himself.
I disagree.
Okay. He could very well win. I vote Garfield. Also, as Garfield and others have pointed out, some people on this list are not actually race directors. Like, there's a difference.
Right.
For example, Steve Hammond is not a race director and would tell you that. There's a difference. How about this one maybe? How about they should actually, even though I already say there's too many categories, if you went OCR big race, OCR small race, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think you should probably have your obstacle in for a year, like Savage Race Anchors Away. Like, they just trialed that and it's been in maybe 2 races. So give it a year to
Well, that's a different category. That's best new obstacle.
Oh, well, that's what I was talking about. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about best race director.
Oh, moving on.
I'm just saying that, like, somebody like Missy and Garfield are working with a lot more than, say, Rob McCoy or Mark Ballas, right? It's just a different, I don't know, whatever. Best new obstacle. Okay, I voted Anchors Away. What did you vote for?
I voted Kempson's Underdog.
I think that'll probably win. Okay.
I think so too.
Here's a anybody who owns a thing or knows anyone category. Best training facility or fixed course. Looks like there's 15 or 20 fucking things. And again, this is like the Gormer question, right? I voted for myself.
Let's go back to best new obstacle. If you voted for the box, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram so I can virtually slap you in the face.
No, Valkyrie's going to win that one. Valkyrie's going to win, right?
Possibly. I think Valkyrie, Gibbons, Kempson's, those 3 should be 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1 or 2, 1, 3.
Right.
So I voted for my local gym as well.
Which one?
Ultimate Obstacles.
Run by, what's his name?
Eric Mata.
I don't see it on here.
Very bottom. It's a U.
Oh,
it's alphabetical.
Jesus Christ. There's so many. Wait a minute. It's not on here, dude.
Ultimate Obstacles, West Boylston, Mass. I'm looking right at it.
That's best ninja gym. I'm looking at best training facility or fixed course location.
Oh, I don't even think I knew any of those.
All right. Best OCR TV show.
Considering only 2 of these had 3 of these had active TV shows during the year, I don't consider Spartan Races a TV show. It's just a recap of a race. So I sort of ruled them out. Also, Spartan Race live streams. We only had 1 of those this year. ORM live streams could have been a nominee on this one. So I went American Ninja Warrior.
I did not vote Ninja Warrior because I think it takes away from these other things. So I think I went Spartan Race ESPN, I think. Or maybe I did vote Ninja Warrior. I can't fucking remember. Best medal. So many of these fucking things. I think I went Savage.
I went Noram.
Best OCR podcast. We got our wish of having both categories nominated. However, someone pointed out that there's a world in which we split the vote and lose, which would suck.
It's the old survivor conundrum. Listen, I'm gonna go out on a ledge and say Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace wins this category.
Oof.
And if you're still listening to this as we just drudged on through 17 categories.
This is what I complain other things about doing. I'm like, no one wants to hear you go through the whole thing.
we only do it once in a while, so it's fine.
We never do it.
We probably should have promoted our awards at the beginning because nobody's listening at this point anymore. Vote Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace, and then tell your friend to vote Obstacle Racing Media. But I feel like we haven't done any campaigning. I posted once on Facebook. You're not a big campaigner, but I bet if you lose this year, you'll be a campaigner next year. But there's a lot in this space now. Bro CR has a podcast. I Am Spartan, which is Scott the Fane Knowles, and that is not what it's called. But there are some that don't belong. Legends of the Death Race don't belong here. Natural Running, Link Endurance. I've never even heard of OCR Disrupt, but I'm going to go search that one out. World's Toughest Podcast didn't really have that many episodes this year. So, there is a world where we could lose.
They took anybody with 2 votes, right? So listen, I know Anthony Matisse, Legend of the Death Race. He's had 2 episodes by the time this thing went up. Everyone knows it's not the best podcast. Anthony, don't be upset. You're going against some monsters here. It's nice to be nominated, but give yourself a year, right? If you're still going in a year, it's one thing. And if you're still really good and you get votes, you'll get votes. The biggest, the elephant in the room is the Spartan Up, right? As our friends Mike and Caitlin say, just don't vote Spartan Up. It's not really an OCR podcast. It's just got the word Spartan in it. I would not be upset losing to Spartan Up because I just know it was a Spartan thing. I would be upset, but not nearly as upset if we get beat by any of these other ones on here. That will upset me.
All right.
I could lose best writer. I could lose best a lot of things, but put it this way, I'll be happy if ORM wins. I'll be thrilled if Davis and Chace wins and the ORM comes in second. Like, legit thrilled.
Yeah, I will be too.
Media victory lap.
Okay.
We will everywhere. We'll be like, we fucking won, motherfuckers. Best MC. This is a controversial category.
No, it's not. I went with Spartan Phil.
I went with Matty T. Matty T is the most fun person. I voted Sean in the past because I love Sean, but I love Matty T from Savage. He's hilarious and amazing.
Oh, yeah. He's good.
Okay. Another controversial category. Best commentator.
There's no controversy at this one, Matt. This one is cut and dry.
Is it Kevin Donahue?
It's not Kevin Donahue.
Is it Josh Chace?
It's Josh Chace. If you're not voting Josh Chace for best commentator, you either didn't watch our live streams for all the events we covered this year, or you have a bone to pick. And that second one I'm fine with.
By the way, you who complained about me putting out too many episodes, this I think helps you. I think our blanketing of the OCR world, I think, helps you in that department.
Yeah, but you released 6 episodes since our last Davis and Chace, which is just insane.
What can I say? I like obstacle racing. So let's break this down. Amelia, I don't think was on any shows this year. This is much like the Anna Blake question. Basically, you've got Megiddo and Donahue, right?
Yep.
Francesca, is she on Mudsticle? I don't know what she's on.
I don't know, to be honest.
Geraldo Mercado, who, as far as I know, is on OCRM, and they stopped in March.
Did they stop?
Have you seen anything by them?
I mean, I saw they started throwing like podcasts up on Spotify and such, but I haven't seen any posts in their community. I don't know, to be honest.
They were doing their garbage stuff from like every small race, right?
Right.
Challenge, Indian Mud Run, like, hey, we're here with our nice desk and horrible sound.
Spartan Kids Championship in Connecticut last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah. This one, if I don't win or come in second, I'll be bummed. And if I win, I'll be thrilled. But if I don't get either of the 2 votes, I'll be pretty upset. Favorite volunteer. I think we all went Sandy Rhee on this one.
I definitely went Sandy Rhee on this one.
I went Sandy Rhee. Best DR Kids Race. I went with Experience. The only 2 that my kids have done are Savage and Spartan. And I think I went Savage Jr. on that.
I went Savage just for their friggin' bubble wall that they put out there for every race. Like, can we get that for our races?
All right. So we spent far too long on that.
Way too long.
But I think it was fun. I think it was a fun exercise to go through.
Yeah, I think it's, I think people will just go through and blindly vote for the brands that they love the most. I totally get that. That's pretty much what awards user voted awards things are. So, cool. But I think sometimes there needs to be a little more thought and maybe a little more background. So,
well, again, like you realize, like one of the reasons I wasn't promoting it the first 2 years is because, they are my direct competition. So it puts me in a weird spot.
Yeah, but
then I win the award sometimes and it's really fun. It's like winning the, it's like if Han Solo won the Rebel Fleet Award or whatever. I'm doing a bad analogy, but what would be the correct way to say that?
No, I mean, one, Han Solo was a rebel, so no, it wouldn't. It would be like Han Solo getting the Empire, like most valuable Empire award.
Right, exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
All right.
But vote for Josh Chace for best commentator. That's the one I want. And I'm just going to say, this is going to be a little patting myself on the back. I really enjoyed not only just live streaming the events, but like the conversation behind it. So like keeping so-and-so, so-and-so's in the lead and this person's 2 persons behind. And if they pass on the next obstacle, like I love that aspect of the sport. And I think there's a lot of room for that to grow in the industry.
Right. Like imagine if you had an actual budget and a producer in your ear who could tell you things. You're literally chasing Killian up a fucking snow hill. I mean, I think you did a fantastic job and I would tell you otherwise. Like I tell people when they take shitty pictures. So
I was actually physically in more pain chasing Robert Killian and Ryan Atkins than I was ever racing this year.
Right. So you did that race. You did, was it NORAM or OCRWC or both?
I did NORAM.
Right. And you did a great job. I think I would vote for you if I didn't like myself so much.
And then I did World's Toughest Mudder. Wait, you voted for yourself?
For best commentator?
Yeah.
I think I might have given that one to you. I honestly can't remember.
If I lose by 1, you're fucked.
Well,
take my talents to South Beach.
We've got several other categories, which now I'm exhausted and don't want to talk about. But if you want to talk about, we can.
I don't even know what we have left.
There are 4 things left, which I'm fine with skipping.
Women hate the Peloton commercial. You're dummies. Not just women. Everybody that hates that commercial, you're dummies. The hostage run. I don't even know what that is. All right. I guess I'll push Can You Not till the next episode again.
Once again, Can You Not gets pushed.
Can You Not? My apologies to Matt Damon. We'll have him on next show.
Exactly. It's actually kind of like that.
Yeah.
All I want to say about the hostage run is this question came up of would you take money for something you didn't believe in, right? And I actually asked both of the Ryans this on a recent show. Would you take money on something you don't believe in? Where do you draw the line? Everybody has a price, blah, blah, blah.
And by the way, Atkins' price was only $20,000, man. You got to up that bar.
Well, that's the scraps of OCR that we're living in. So I have said no to money before, right? I don't need to get into specifics. And I have said yes to things that weren't necessarily OCR related or like I cared about necessarily, right? However, this specific event, okay, because it's legendary. This guy reaches out to me and says, I'm trying to do this thing called the hostage run. And he's put together this video of, like, at the time it was a pretty well-produced video of like a girl getting kidnapped in the middle of the night. And we're going to create this for you like a thing. So think about it in terms of like, well, people run from zombies. Why not imagine there's a bag over your head. They put a little bag over your head and zip tie your hands behind you. And like, it's pretty unwoke, right? This is 3-4 years ago, slightly less unwoke. And I remember thinking, and I asked a couple of friends of mine, I said, hey, should I take money from these people? And they said, Matt, if they want to give you money, we'd be mad if you did not take it. So I took their money and I advertised the race. And guess what? It never fucking happened. There was the town it was supposed to take place in called the local news. And they were so horrified that they blew this guy out of the water. Like, they were like, you're not having this running our town. And they're like, well, we have all these things. We still have the bibs and the bags and the zip ties. So we'll just do a virtual run. And they sent me the things. So imagine trying to do a virtual version of this. Josh, you are not looking at me, and I feel like you're not grasping the story.
I mean, I'm I don't think it takes a poet laureate to figure out that naming something the hostage run is probably not going to get yourself much support, especially in the way of local government. So, nor in the way of a virtual event.
Well, that's my point. It's like even less relevant. So anyway, whenever that question comes up, would you take money? It's like I did take money from the ill-fated hostage run, which did in fact never happen. And I mean, it didn't. It didn't.
It works out for you.
It did not buy me a cereal. It did not buy me a new Maserati, as Dave Watson famously said about the pro team.
How many people do you think we're going to see on the pro team next year?
Not 200 for sure. I think they learned their lesson, don't you?
100 or less than? Think they're going to cut it down to like 50?
Well, it does get them a lot of. I think it gets them a lot of Instagram, but I think they'll get it anyway. Like if they dropped, let's say racers like the 15 through 20, the Timmy Brands of the world. If they drop those people, on the men's side, it would be. I don't know who it would be. I'm trying to think of like someone who's like slightly below the radar now. Most of those guys run age group. If they're 15 to 20, like you're probably going to run age group, right?
Right.
Anyway, if they don't keep those people, they're probably still going to post. They're probably still going to chase the series. Because they want to get back in the pro team and they want sponsorships or whatever. So, I don't know. Can they just make it 25 or 50 again? I don't know.
I don't know either. Do you see Trevor Psychos' story?
I did see that. I was half catching up. Tell people the story, I guess.
So this year or 2020, you have to apply to be elite in Spartan Races. So it's a gated heat, as we've talked about. Trevor Psychos puts up on his Instagram story a picture of his application, and it says, in what event did you qualify? And all he put was world's toughest mudder. And he's like, I wonder if this will work.
Right.
So we gave it to local Spartan guy, Gary B. Said, hey, you going to approve him? I'm guessing he gets approved. I'm pretty sure he's getting approved.
But wasn't there some arguments that he shouldn't because he didn't do any Spartans? Wasn't someone like saying like, well, it doesn't fit in the qualification?
Yeah, but there's also that caveat of send us a resume, and if you're good enough, you're in.
I don't even know what races he wants to do. Ultra Beasts, I guess. Oh, this rumored Ultra Series. That's what we need to find out about. That's the big one.
Yeah,
what will it be? Will there be any money? What will the championships be? Will it be on any dates, right?
Yeah. There was a slide shared from Sweden.
Oh, there was?
That I got to find.
What?
Please hold. This is riveting information for our did I not save it?
Vela Forte has a beet drink, by the way.
Gross. Did I ever tell you my story with beets?
You were dry humped by a bunch of beets, and now you are frightened of them?
Because not where I expected that to go. I can't find it at the moment. No, I took Beet Elite or Beet Juice or Human Beet, one of the beets, I don't know, for BFX in Pittsburgh. Good old BFX, RIP.
Oh, BFX.
And
best event 2016.
Hands down, best event.
2014.
Got incredibly dehydrated. Went to the bathroom. Actually thought I was urinating blood because it was just incredibly dark red. And then remembered, Beet Elite, baby. Stay hydrated, kids.
What did Ricky say?
I don't remember what he said.
He said Endure Elite is this year's
Beet Elite,
which is last year's something else elite.
And ATAC will be next year's Endure Elite. Is that what you're saying? He also said no day on the calendar will fix your hot mess.
God bless Ricky. God bless Ricky.
Amazing. Ran into Ricky on course actually on Saturday.
How amazing was that?
I was coming up to mile 8 or 9, I think. Mile 8. I came up to the Beta, which is still my favorite Spartan obstacle. Was stopping to grab some water. He's like, hey, it's Josh Chace. We took some pickle juice shots together because they have pickle juice on course now for Spartan. Which is,
they do? Who's that sponsor?
Cramp. No. I can see the bottle. It's green and yellow.
I think it's shittypickle.com.
It's not shit. I'm not even going to go to that website. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go to that website.
No, do not go to that website. I'm sure it's horrible. Do not go to that website. I wasn't even thinking it that way. I was thinking taste, and now you're getting gross. See, I should have started the show with this. How was your Disney honk trip? Josh is...
Shittypickle.com is just a website with weird quotes, and one of them says, "I buried my boner at Disney," and they just change over and over again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hang on.
But you went to Disney? Maybe it hurt us talking about Disney. Make it
more Jewy.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. They're all anonymous quotes. Okay. No, I didn't go to Disney. I went to Universal. It was great. I'm a Universal honk.
Because why? Because you work for NBC, Comcast, /Xfinity?
Well, no. I mean, the Hagrid ride, that new Hagrid ride is like, it was super fun. I love like roller coasters and like those super exciting 90-second upside. Like the Hulk coaster is hands down my favorite ride ever.
I looked at the Hulk coaster. It looked to me like the Mindbender, which I've been riding for years here in Atlanta.
Well, it's similar, but like the thing with the Hulk coaster is like you go up the start, right? And every roller coaster is the same. You like tick, 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 tick all the way up. But the Hulk coaster starts you in this tunnel and you're dead stop. And it's like, hey, gamma radiation increasing. Oh, God, we're losing control. And then it just fires you out of the tunnel. And it immediately turns you over, spins you upside down, loops you around. It's like you can't not laugh. You're hysterically as you're on that roller coaster. So it was amazing.
All right. Well, listen, I think I'm going to put this up today or tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow.
But I'll give people a shout out for the Discord. Over 500 members strong.
Well over 500 members strong. So we're pretty much at the end of the season. We have one more event this year that's noteworthy, I guess, and that's the Spartan Trail World Championship thing that we're going to have to see how it goes. But this year is pretty much over. So in the off season, if there is going to be an off season, because the news is going to continue, go ahead and connect with us at bit.ly/OCR chat. That's the website you go to. There's a great app for Discord. Jump on, get all your questions answered, chat with us. All the podcasters are in there if you have any questions for them. There's a bunch of staffers in there. There's race directors, quote unquote. There's a few pro athletes. BJ jumps in there every now and again when Matt says something angry about him. Leon is in there if you want to say hi to him. So it's a great place to keep in touch and kill some time if you're stuck in a dead-end job.
The links to getting in there are also in the show notes. I just want to say I had a very bizarre moment just then while you were looking, because I had a conversation I did an interview here for the Atlanta podcast, which if you're a podcast fan, I'm just going to go and do a quick plug. You're going to want to listen to. His name's Jay Hoke. He used to work at How Stuff Works. Interviewed him 2 years ago. Since then, he's launched his own series of podcasts, and they're cool. And we talk a lot about podcasting, the podcasting industry. So if you're a podcast honk, it's going to be for you. But I discussed these Duracell batteries I really like. And I was just on Mud Run Guide, which has a Google ad feeder system. And that fucking ad popped up, and I've never seen it before in my life, which means your phone and your computer are fucking listening to you, and I'm disturbed.
I mean, we all know they're listening to us.
But like, there's a certain amount that I accept, and then sometimes there's an explanation for it somewhere, but there's no explanation. How would that fucking battery ad have popped up? How would a fucking Duracell battery ad popped up to me? Go to Mud Run Guide right now. Tell me what you're seeing.
Okay.
On the right-hand side in the...
It's going to be based on my cookies.
I know. It's not going to be fucking Duracell is the point.
Let's see. On the right side.
Scroll down a little bit, because you're going to get their ads.
Muddy Monday.
Right. But then if you hold on a second.
So whatever's under Muddy Monday you're talking about?
Or under Spartan Stadion Pass. I'm getting an Xfinity ad now.
World's highest OCR at Mount Kilimanjaro, which I would love to go to.
Just let it sit there for a second on under Stadion, because that's the spot where Google ads are.
Mine's Enbrel.
What is it?
Enbrel, that medication. What is Enbrel for?
Now mine is Holiday Inn.
Oh, I just got an advertisement for an autoimmune disease drug.
Well, you probably need that because you have gay and have the AIDS. Now it's an Xfinity ad again. Xfinity Mobile. Should I get that, Josh?
You definitely should.
Should it work? Will it work with my iPhone?
Yeah. You can bring your own device.
That's what it says.
BYOD.
Pay $0. Switch for free. Now, wait, I can't do that. I'm going to have to.
You have to buy your phone.
Right. Let's not do that, Josh. Let's just say goodbye.
Okay.
Happy anniversary, buddy.
Happy anniversary. It was a great 1 year.
Vote for Josh, everyone.
Seriously, vote for me.
Peace out.